Now at 6, the Joplin Police Department welcomes back an officer after the police shooting tragedy in March. Plus, Joplin's History and Mineral Museum opens up their Lego camp. Some four-staters taking advantage of the warm weather, hot weather today to go out on the river.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Joplin police officer severely injured in the line of duty returns to work today. This is KOAM News at 6. Officer Hershey was shot after responding to a disturbance on March 8th. Corporal Ben Cooper and Officer Jake Reed died from injuries sustained during the March 8th disturbance. Hershey was hospitalized for 8 days, spent 96 days recovering at home. Hershey is now on light duty status, not cleared for full enrollment duties, and will assist with administration duties at the department. We're going to hear more from Officer Hershey tonight at 10. A ribbon cutting ceremony was held today at Irving Elementary for shade canopies. Irving PTO worked nearly 2 years on the fundraising for this project. Sponsors include Arvis Foundation, Mercy Hospital, and other local businesses. The playground now has 4 canopies to keep those kids and staff safe on these hot days.
We're just out here to obviously support the kids, support the school, support the community. We are so excited to be able to give the canopies, make the donation to the schools to hopefully provide much needed shade.
In addition to the sponsors, an anonymous partner offered to donate full installation services, saving an estimated $12,000 in additional project costs. 15 campers building Legos to their heart's content. This week-long camp lets children from ages 5 to 12 build themed projects, Lego games and competitions, making Lego snacks, and more. The purpose of the camp is to get kids interacting with other children and just have some fun inside this summer.
Yeah, it's a nice break for the parents. It's 1 to 4, so they get some time, and it's also indoors with the heat right now. It's kind of tough to have kids outdoors, but this still gets them engaging and active.
The cost of the camp includes snacks, prizes, and campers receive a new Lego set each day. Meteorologist Nick Kelly joining us now. It is just dangerous to be outside during these hot temperatures.
Yeah, and not only that, Jordan, I'm afraid temperatures will go up a little higher, close to the triple-digit mark by the time we get almost the weekend underway. In the short term, though, it looks nice, even though it may not feel nice from 7th and range line. The Skywatch Storm Tracker has us quiet right now, but I am watching our next storm system at the surface. It's prompting some severe weather across parts of Minnesota and parts of the Dakotas this evening, but this upper level ridge is maintaining control, so this is going to keep us quiet before this storm system tries to pay us a visit within the next few days. In the short term, that upper ridge, while it's keeping us dry, it's keeping a lot of us near 90 degrees at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. A little bit of humidity out there, but still enough to make it feel like the mid to almost upper 90s in some spots. Your evening planner, it's going to be a warm evening, still near 75 by midnight, but ultimately Jordan will drop back near 72 to start Tuesday out. But I'm tracking not only heat on the way, but rain chances and hopefully a break from this by next week. We'll break it all down here in a few.
Break sounds good. Nick Kelly, seen a little bit. 2 men have been charged with murder in a house explosion near St. Louis. The authorities say killed 4 people who were assembling fireworks in a garage. St. Louis County prosecutors charged 37-year-old Terrell Cooks and 43-year-old Seneca Mahan with 3 counts of second-degree murder before a 4th victim died Saturday. Prosecutors said Cooks admitted he and Mahan made explosive devices designed to make a loud bang and bright flash, sell them to others. He directed younger people to load canisters with explosives and attach a fuse for lighting. They're being held on a $350,000 bond. Well, Facebook has removed a campaign video by U.S. Senate candidate Eric Greitens for, quote, violating policies prohibiting violence and incitement, because the ad showed a Republican brandishing a shotgun and declaring he was hunting rhinos. Greitens, a former governor who resigned in 2018, said, "Get a rhino hunting permit. There's no bagging limit, no tagging limit, and it doesn't expire until we save our country." The video comes at a time of renewed focus on gun violence and violence in politics. Inflation is taking a toll on infrastructure projects across here in the U.S. Rising prices for materials such as asphalt, steel, and iron pipes are driving up the costs to build roads, bridges, rail lines, and water mains. Prices for some infrastructure materials have risen even faster than general consumer prices. State and local officials say inflation is diminishing the value of a $1 trillion federal infrastructure law signed by President Joe Biden just 7 months ago. Some officials say inflation has forced them to delay or scale back the scope of projects. Coming up, we're going to take a look at how some four-staters are cooling down from this hot weather. And later, how a Washington University student got a unique opportunity to assist in surgery. The Community Blood Center of the Ozarks is asking for help to replenish blood supply levels for Southwest Missouri. According to the organization, blood reserves are low with less than 2-day supplies available. Health officials say the reason behind the shortage is some lingering effects of the pandemic and time of the year. CBCO supplies blood, platelets, and plasma to 44 area healthcare facilities. Some swimmers who had plans to go to Lake Parsons probably going to have to find a new spot to cool off in an effort to keep swimmers and lake users safe. Officials have closed Lake Parsons in Parsons, Kansas until further notice. Now, they say excessive erosion in recent months has revealed some sort of hazard that was placed in the beach. The city is currently in the process of removing that hazard. Some four-staters are beating the heat by going out and swimming in the river. Man, doesn't that look cool? Elk River is a popular spot in McDonald County for river lovers to go out and camp, kayak, and go floating with a group of friends. There are a multitude of campgrounds to choose from, and if you don't have a kayak, canoe, or raft of your own, you can also rent one from campgrounds. Some people find going out to the river is a good opportunity to make new friends and enjoy the nice summer weather.
We just enjoy it. It's nice. I don't want to say it's a peaceful float because there's always a lot of people, but the river's wide, it's beautiful, lots of nice gravel bars to stop on. A little more fun later in the year when it warms up a little, but it's still a beautiful day today.
KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks took a trip to the river, and we're going to have a deeper look at 10. You can just imagine being in that water and just cooling off, can't you? It's opening day for fireworks stands across the Ozarks, but some tents aren't able to make any sales just yet. If you were hoping to stock up today, you can't. It's a federal holiday, so some places couldn't get their usual inspection in order to open up. Elizabeth Von Meter reports.
It's really awesome this year. They have tanks too.
It's opening day for fireworks stands. Andrew with R&R is pumped for customers to see his new inventory, but if you're shopping today, it might be a dud.
Not open. We expect to do inspection tomorrow, and then we will be open tomorrow afternoon or so.
Usually these guys get inspections on opening day morning. This year, falling on a federal holiday makes that impossible. Same over at Crazy Cheap Fireworks on West Bypass.
A lot of customers coming by asking about it as to why we're not open and things. Everybody seems to be pretty understanding.
And when these tents open up on Tuesday, you'll notice a difference in prices. Some products have been harder for these guys to get their hands on. Chris Cook says things that took weeks to get are now taking a lot longer.
It took months for us to load up for everything.
Things to buy first, things that start with an S, because those are the things we're seeing a shortage of.
Get all the snaps, get all the smoke bombs, get all the sparklers, get all the snakes that you can now as fast as you can.
And some of the bigger items in stock will come with a bigger price.
Prices have went up every season for the last 4 seasons. You know, incrementally, it's bounced anywhere from 10 to 15% to 20 to 25% raises on our ends.
Some of those are because of gas prices, some shipping cost.
Well, a little bit later, details about bridge construction in Barton County, Missouri.
Plus, rain chances for the middle of the week may not scrub out the heat, but a pattern change by early next week could. Forecast next. It was yet another day where, forgive me if you've heard this before, it looked nice to go outside, but once you stepped a single toe out the door, you definitely felt the heat back in control once again. But at the very least, we tied the highs from yesterday. We hit the lower 90s the other day. It was nice to get a break from the heat temporarily this morning with lows in the mid-60s, but we topped out at 91 so far at Joplin Regional. And that is just yet another day where temperatures ran well above normal. We've been continuing this streak ever since the 11th, where we've had highs around 92. But oddly enough, in terms of below and average days for the month of June, we could kind of split the difference in half here. 9 days below normal, but needless to say, we've dealt with quite a bit of hot weather running above our highs, normal highs in the 80s. Looks nice nonetheless, though, certainly from our live shot from Lander Chevrolet on the southeast side of Joplin, 7th and Range line just up the road. Looking good as well, but doesn't feel so good if you're not a fan of these temperatures at least. 91 in Joplin, a dew point in the upper 60s makes it feel like 96. It's the same for the entire region, as a matter of fact. Everybody in the lower 90s for the most part, but you factor in the bit of humidity that we have, it does feel like the mid to even some upper 90s still on the board. Ultimately, though, we'll get past this warm evening. Still, though, we'll be in the mid 70s by midnight, but ultimately I expect us to drop back into the lower 70s as we keep quiet with mostly clear skies, which is what we've seen plenty of all day long. To the north and west, though, at the surface, here's our next cold front triggering some severe weather across parts of the northern plains and upper Midwest. That's the next system that's going to try and graze us by the middle of the week, since our upper level ridge wants to shift around a little bit and get squeezed a little bit back to the south. Let's see how that plays out on your future track forecast here. It's in control for the evening, bottom line, no matter what though. So at least it keeps us quiet, but it keeps us warm up until midnight. Then we'll drop lows back tomorrow morning in the lower 70s. Going throughout the course of the day, I'm really expecting a lot of us, if not the entire area, to stay dry, since we're still just barely under the main influence of that upper level ridge. But you can see maybe some stray thunderstorms just outside of the area tomorrow afternoon. But again, around here, I think we're dry, but it's going to be another hot one. 72 in the morning, 90 by noon, and highs near 95. With the humidity, it's going to feel like the triple digits, around 100 to maybe 103 during the afternoon. As we go into the late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, that next front edge is close enough to the region where we'll have to watch for some potentially isolated storms going into Tuesday night and early Wednesday morning. Then we'll just continue with scattered thunderstorm chances on our Wednesday. That incoming rain chances is, again, that upper level ridge being squashed back to the south, but it doesn't let the front through. In fact, the upper ridge builds back in after another shot for rain and storms on Thursday. This is going to easily push us into the upper 90s for highs on Friday and Saturday. But look at Saturday night. Going into Sunday morning, a stronger system squashes that ridge back to the south for a bit of a good stretch. Not only will that bring another shot of rain and storms Saturday night and Sunday morning, that could hopefully, Jordan, knock highs back into the lower 80s and maybe starting next Monday out around 61, which will feel mighty nice. Well, we got to be patient, though, because we're going to be stuck in the 90s for a little while longer, including tomorrow's high of 95.
In the 80s seems so nice compared to what we're in right now.
I know, it's like, I can't believe we're saying that again, but It is going to feel nice once we get there.
Nick Kelly, thank you so much. Don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with KOAM Skywatch Weather app. You get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store, also the Google Play Store. If you have an Android phone, all you have to do is search for the KOAM Skywatch Weather app. Some Barton County, Missouri drivers may have to take a detour. Beginning this week, Barton County Route K Bridge over East Fork Dry Wood Creek, northwest of Liberal, is going to be closed. Modot says crews are going to remove the bridge deck and driving surface and will be replaced with a new bridge. The project also includes new barrier walls, striping, and object markers at the ends of the bridge. They also say there will be no signed detour. Drivers will not be able to drive through the work zone, of course. If your signal of KOAM or Fox 15 becomes glitchy, it's a sign of progress. We've started broadcasting from a lower temporary antenna while a crew installs a new, more technically advanced antenna at the top of our tower. It's the final step in our More Power project. This is going to allow some viewers who previously lost our signal to get us once again. If all goes to plan, we're going to be back up and stronger than ever soon. Still ahead. How a Washington University student earned a unique opportunity. A second-year Washington University student receives the opportunity to assist in heart surgery. And twist, the heart surgeon is her father. Reporter Mike Bush has more on the opportunity. And as a warning, we're talking about surgery, so some images in this story may be graphic.
Even more than scalpels and forceps, the most important tools for a surgeon are the hands.
Today we're going to do an aortic valve replacement.
And on this day, 4 hands are better than 2.
All right, honey, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Dr. Sophia Roberts is a second-year Washington University resident.
Okay, now here's the way you do this.
Training to become a cardiothoracic surgeon.
Final ACT was 613.
Less than 5% of heart surgeons are women, but making this even more unique is that the doctor she's assisting today
All right, give me another one. Coming up.
Is her dad.
And this is a pretty complicated case, but she, if I say so myself, she did a really good job.
Following in her father's footsteps began at an early age. Her path cemented after dinners out with the family.
Inevitably, some family would come up to our table and say, "Oh, Dr. Roberts, you don't remember me, but you operated on my mother and gave her 10 extra years with us. Or you operated on me and now I'm here with my family." And that had a big impact on me as a kid.
From then on, she was a girl who preferred scrubs to skirts.
We got into this little game called Operation when she was about 4. My sister Beth said, she was really good at that. Actually,
Oh no.
I've got her one. Let's just see.
That's awful.
Oh, she did it.
Whoa.
Whoa.
All right, there we go.
Here's one thing you can see here.
Though she was raised in South Florida, training at Washington University was always the dream.
That's pretty normal.
Her mom is from Belleville, so she'd visit the area often.
My grandmother had surgery here. My grandfather's been hospitalized here. It's a place that I would want my family members to go to. So to me, growing up, this was always kind of like the pinnacle of medicine.
After graduating from Yale and Ohio State University College of Medicine, she arrived in June of 2020. A year later, her dad would follow in her footsteps.
Her left ventricle was terrible.
After 30 years as a cardiac surgeon in Florida and West Virginia, he texted with the news that he received an offer to work for Washington University's renowned Heart and Vascular Program.
My immediate response was yes, you have to do this.
Trust me, if she's like, oh, please, don't do that, I wouldn't have come.
Take Your Daughter to Work Day wasn't just one day a year when Sophia was younger. She'd go with Dad to the hospital all the time.
Now, here's the way you do it.
They're still going to the hospital, only now it's to perform surgery together.
The thing I'm really looking forward to is this will be the first of many.
One thing you do, you can feel it here.
Following Dad's example and his advice.
It's mostly just you have to love what you do, and what you do needs to sustain you for an entire career.
Hey, you did a great job. Hey.
Dr. Roberts and Dr. Roberts. Their family business is healing.
I got to tell you, she came in like a champ.
What a neat story. We're back after this break. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Robert McClanahan served in the U.S. Army from 1944 to 46. The Jasper, Missouri native earned 2 Bronze Battle Stars and was stationed in Germany and Central Europe. We are proud to thank and salute Private First Class Robert McClanahan. He's this evening's 4-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. A gas tax holiday and rebate cars are being considered by the White House to help Americans with all this inflation that's going on. Also, there's a new move by the Biden administration to spend $10 million taxpayer dollars to study the best ways to ask people about their sexual orientation, and how a surfer is honoring people from around the world who've recently passed away. Those stories and much more coming your way tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Legendary investor Warren Buffett's annual auction for lunch just went for a record-breaking price, $19 million. The bidder is remaining anonymous, but whoever it is, they're going to get a private steak lunch with Buffett and up to 7 guests at Smith & Wollensky Steakhouse in the Big Apple. This year's huge sum is more than 4 times the winning bid in 2019, which was the last auction before a hiatus because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And this year's lunch will be the last one auctioned off with Buffett. The money goes to the Glide Foundation, which is a San Francisco-based nonprofit working on combating poverty, hunger, and homelessness. It's a lot of money, but for a good cause.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm looking at the low for Sunday night of next week.
Yeah.
You upped it because okay, so Monday night, it's in the 60s. That's looking good.
Yeah, Monday morning, with this change in the weather pattern, we should get lows in the lower 60s and highs are 81. But summer officially kicking off tomorrow. Felt like summer for so long now, Jordan, but we'll just keep at it tomorrow with highs of 95.
You didn't up it. I just read it wrong. Nick Kelly, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10.